Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome into another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I am here with Mudcat Cody. What's up, dude?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're starting a little early.
I say it feels early, which is normal for me, but
it sucks for me. This is usually my 15 to 20 minute nap time.
I don't like when my jokes don't hit.
I did. Oh yeah, this is good night for you.
I'm always coming early. I'm here early. Arrived early. That spiraled all wrong.
I have no clue what to even think. Brian,
it spiraled. That was
Brian, help me. Of course, this is typical Brian.
So let's do a rundown of why we're here early, because it actually is hilarious, and it's one of Brian's sort of just quirks. That is why I like him. So he texted a couple hours ago. He isn't feeling that well. He texted a couple hours ago and said, "Can we go early tonight?" And we both said, "Yeah, sounds good." And then at 7:30. He starts hounding us for, hey, 8 or 8:30. And we're like, you pick. You're the one that wants to go early. So he picks 8 o'clock. And then Mario and I are sitting here at 7:57. And Brian shows up. And he goes, when are we starting?
Let's go. I'm ready.
He turns on the camera and he goes, when we going?
When are we going? I'm ready to go.
We have a fun episode for you guys today. We're going to get into some of these injuries. There was a lot talk about.
I feel like there's always a lot of injuries. It's a daunting list.
It is. And I think some more we're going to spend more time on than others. Obviously, like James Conner, we're not going to really talk about too much because he could or couldn't play. It's him or Eno. You know what it is, right?
Yep.
But there's other situations like guys that have gone out for a year, like what to make of this Michael Carter versus James Robinson thing. So things like that, we'll probably get into a little bit more. And then we're going to talk about some players definitely on the list. Gus Edwards, Brandon Aiyuk, and Rhamondre Stevenson. Might hit a couple more after that. I don't want to promise anything if we're going to miss out on not hitting them, but we're going to hit Thursday night preview tonight too, boys.
We might have missed it last week, so we got to.
We did. We covered it. Yes, we covered it last week in the other one, but if we don't hit it tonight, we'll do it again tomorrow.
All right. It tonight. We came early, so we're hitting it tonight.
Okay, that's awkward.
All right. So like I said, James Conner. It's James or Eno. If James is out, I think you. Who do they play? Because I think that is the question here.
Actually, I'm not sure.
This is embarrassing. We're supposed to be a fantasy football podcast.
They play Minnesota, so I would probably plug Eno in at least flex. If
I think so too. Do you think Connor in general? Do you think Eno has earned part of this job? Do we see that at all?
I a little bit do.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
I'm biased, but I really do kind of think he's earned some time.
Yeah. I think Eno's a big jag, but so is James Conner. So
yeah, they're not. It's not a good running back room at all.
No,
talent wise.
There's no Darrell Henderson or a Darrell Williams or Darrell Henderson.
You won't be playing in that game either. Okay.
Solid start, guys. Solid start.
What's up, Albert? All right. So Mark Andrews, a concerning one, right? He's missed practice all week, plays tomorrow, something with his knee, played last week, played a ton of the snaps. I think it was over 80%, had 2 targets, but no catches. What are you doing here?
Well, I think it's as simple as this. If he plays, you start him. I think if Mark Andrews is on the field, you don't have a better option to me.
No, that is the answer. That is the only answer. I mean, look at this disgusting heap of a mess of pile that we call a tight end position.
Plus with other injuries between Waller, Njoku. We'll hit on those, but like it's just,
I mean, I don't want to like hype Bellinger, but that's just another guy who got injured. Like,
I thought you were gonna hype him to start him. I'm like, no.
He broke his eye. So like,
broke his eye.
Your already thin options are even thinner.
Yep.
Yeah. So the follow-up question: do you start Isaiah Likely if he's out?
Yeah. There's probably not much better options, honestly.
Yes, and I mean, if you have easy. Likely's already been pretty involved. So he's a rookie, and he's already been pretty involved in their offense. I mean, he's gotten 4, 5, 2, 2, 4, 1 targets each week. So, like, I mean, nothing crazy, but like to already see him getting 5 targets as a rookie with Mark Andrews out there shows they got some trust in him. He looks pretty good. I think
he looked great in preseason.
Yeah.
He looked really good in preseason.
Yep.
I mean, that adds to it.
Unless you are already rostering another tight end, I doubt there's anything better on the waivers. That's probably your top choice if Mark Andrews weren't to play. It's definitely your top choice on waivers.
Would you go Isaiah Likely or Harrison Bryant if Mark Andrews is out?
I think.
Brian?
That one's a tough one. I actually think both of those guys will be like top 10 if they both play this week.
Harrison will for sure play.
But I'd probably just go with
I'd
probably just go with Likely, just because the Ravens tend to focus on their tight end more.
Yep.
Speaking of, we just talked about Harrison Bryant, and Brian just said he's proclaiming him top 10. David Njoku is out 2 to 5 weeks, is what the initial reports said. Somebody wrote on here potentially week to week.
Yeah, that was me. Coach had said week to week, and as soon as I hear week to week, I'm like, okay, it's weeks. Week to week doesn't mean maybe next week. It means.
So boys, we got one here. Isaiah Likely or Dulcich, which is a guy that I did mention in our player spotlight for today. The hot young rookie with the beautiful
Mario
hair.
has dreams about him.
But I think that's a fairly...
I forgot.
Did you forget?
Yeah.
Well, now I need to hear this.
Yeah.
No, you've heard it. We've talked
I actually remember where I was.
this.
I was standing in Golf Galaxy when you told me about this.
I had on the way to Scott Fishbowl. I had a dream. It felt like a vision dream.
Oh,
I was like, Dulcich is gonna have a great year, and I said we got to make sure we draft him in Scott Fishbowl. They both mistaked it at when we were at the event. They both mistaked it for Trey McBride.
No. You and Robbie mistaked it. I wasn't in the room. Remember? That's
Robbie.
the whole thing.
Well, I also liked McBride, so he said that's your guy. I was like, yeah, that's my guy. But the actual texts are like Greg Dulcich. I don't know anything. I didn't look into him at all or anything. I was like, I think he's gonna have a big year. I saw it in a dream, dude. We were talking about him.
A little more context. I mean, most people know that Mario is our tight end whisperer, and he's had dreams about some players in the past, and they're eerily accurate. So it carries a little bit of weight.
Wait. Is he having like a dream a night? Because as I recall, he's gone through about 15 different guys that were his sleepers this year.
Santana Moss was one time I had a dream that he had a big game, and then he came out and put up like 46 for 2 touchdowns.
There was somebody last year. I feel like this was a conversation. Do you remember or no? No. Okay. I feel like there was someone last year.
Okay, so did we answer your question? Because I feel bad.
No, we did
listening to this. Would you go Likely or Dulcich here?
I think if Mark Andrews plays, it makes it very easy to go Dulcich. Dulcich.
Oh yeah.
If he doesn't play, it's probably a toss-up, and I might still go Dulcich just because, I mean, he kind of tore up last week, but I feel like that's setting up for a letdown this week.
I think it's if Andrew doesn't play, I think it's Likely for me personally. It's just the offense is struggling. It's a rookie tight end. I mean, it's not that I don't like it, and I know Likely is a rookie tight end too, but it's not that I don't like Dulcich. I just think the Ravens offense is more consistent and more user friendly to tight ends. And for me, that's what sways it.
I think I go likely as well. I just want to see one more game with Dulcich, at least one more game. Dulcich, and I love Dulcich, but both Rob and Alex have been in my ears about like Russell never throws it over the middle. Does that prevent him seeing targets? He only had 3 in his first week with Russ, so got to see it another week.
Did he have that hair in your dream?
No, I didn't see him.
You didn't see him? Would you just see his name in lights?
What do you think? No, I don't. I was probably on like a computer. This was not me meeting.
So you just saw his name. You're like, who are the rookie 10? Like, oh.
It was either like and this was in August or July.
Yeah.
It was either that I saw his name or I just saw it was like a conversation that we were having and he was in the top like 7.
Okay. Okay. I thought you saw like a prolific touchdown.
No.
Okay.
That'd be pretty cool though. So David Njoku, Harrison Bryant, do we think he finishes as a tight end 1 this week? Like that's the question that I think would need to be answered here.
Yeah, I think I'll rank him that way. It's 10 to 12. You know, I'm not like going crazy with it, but I think he's a tight end 1 this week.
I feel a lot better with Harrison Bryant than I do with Mike Gesicki.
I don't disagree.
They go against the Bengals Monday night. They're going to be down.
Going to be playing catch
up. Jacoby Brissett does seem to target that tight end position.
The offense in general does.
Yeah, it really does. So I think
it's a little bit not to the same degree, but I mean it's similar to the Ravens. It's a tight end friendly offense.
And he has some like we think this
his rookie year
probably closer to a month for Njoku being out.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about Harrison Bryant. His rookie year was so nice, and he's just kind of disappeared.
They stopped featuring him. It was all strange. They got Hooper, and then Harrison Bryant went to 3rd on depth chart, so never really saw him. Zeke didn't practice. Grade 2 MCL sprain. He didn't practice today. Doesn't miss a lot of games. So even if he's active, it hasn't been great. Whoa, Brian, pretty neat. Hasn't been great. Do you keep him in your lineup? Is this a big Pollard week?
I think it's a Pollard week. That's my take. I think Zeke's just been inconsistent enough to begin with that anything that can push me there kind of pushes me there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think Zeke could sneak a touchdown or 2 again. Yeah, and that's going to
make what you're banking on
if he plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, he started in my lineup where I have too many on my roster, so I haven't been able to move him. I might just wing it. Russell Wilson hamstring says he is back. He says, Broncos country, let's ride.
Did you guys see the story about him on the flight to?
Yeah, dude.
I'm like surprised the teammate didn't punch him in the face.
Like, think if you're on the outside. Like, it's not a regular plane, right? Like, their planes are. I mean, it's different, right? It's a private jet.
Yeah, but if a guy's running high knees and sprints, I think you still see/hear him.
I think so too. And that would frustrate the hell out of me.
And I don't know how long that flight is, but he said he worked out and stretched for half of the flight. Let's say it's a 10-hour flight. I don't even know what that flight is. Might not be quite that. Maybe
they're going to Jacksonville. So it's a pretty far flight.
Oh, I actually thought it was. Did they play in London last week?
Oh, they are playing in London. You're right. No, it's this week.
London. It's London. Yeah, it was a flight to London. Half of the flight to London. He's just so unlikable.
Dude, it feels bad. I actually saw that there is a good chance because they do have the bye after this week that Zeke does miss. But yeah. So Russell, he's not helping himself, man. And like I feel like the internet is just piling on to what is
a swirly.
He needs a swirly.
I was also reading he lost his best friend.
Who's his best friend?
Like in the off season?
Yeah, like it's a he lost him to cancer. He's like a mental health coach, I think.
Okay.
He has books and stuff. Was like his get right sort of like keep his head on level. So it kind of sad and like it is really sad. And just wonder if that has anything to do with. I don't want to say he's spiraling, but just kind of.
He's sort of a mess. Yeah.
He's sort of mess.
Yeah.
Who put DeAndre Swift?
Who do you think?
He was
we know who did
practice today.
Was he a full practice today? I actually missed this.
I did as well.
Full
That's a good
practice.
sign. I mean, they expected him back last week, so I'm actually he's instantly in my lineups if he's back here.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, concussion, expected to play.
Ended up not being a concussion, but they've had him in protocol anyways. But yeah, sounds like he's good to go.
And if you haven't seen, the concussion protocol dictates it's like, I think it's something along the lines where they have to go limited, then they could go full, then they could go full or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very strict.
Yep.
He's another one that we're just plugging in if he is playing. Lazard, shoulder, did not practice Wednesday, and couch sounds iffy.
I was doing this quickly.
Dang it, I wrote coach. I wrote couch first, and then I corrected myself.
Wait, did I not type that in?
You wrote
on there.
Couch sounds iffy.
So Alan Lazard's couch sounds iffy to start this week.
But Alan
he's
Lazard
likely to sit
also
on the couch
not
this
looking
week.
good. So neither the couch nor Lazard are.
So Dobbs becomes an interesting play if Lazard's out.
Agreed.
Right? That's the only one.
Agreed. I mean, Robert Tonyan.
Yeah, he should
Guys,
see
the
more
Packers'
work.
offense is ugly this year.
Yeah.
Their whole team is just ugly. I think they didn't have a first down last week. Like, I think I
Really?
Play the Bills.
yeah,
I think it's
I
Sunday
heard
Night
something
Football.
that they for the first time in like Aaron Rodgers' career, he didn't have a first down.
Ay.
They didn't have one first down.
I think so. Dude, they
That's
got
not
killed.
right. They had 21 points.
You sure?
I am positive the score was
Packer-
21-23.
Oh, wait. Sorry. It might have been did not convert a third down
Okay.
because then you can convert a
Okay.
second down. So, okay. I think I misspoke.
First down, that would be
Cough syrup's
3 and
talking.
out. Yeah.
Well, they're ugly this year. I wasn't surprised by it.
Third down's bad news Bears, and I think the Broncos have struggled with thirds this year too.
Browns as well.
No. Any other players outside of Tonyan and Dobbs that you would start on Packers if
Not for
Lazard is
me.
out? I think Lazard misses 1 to 2, by the way.
Yeah. If a coach is even showing that type of inkling, if it's not Bill Belichick, then that's usually pretty red flaggy to me.
Just like to point out that the ticker has moved on.
Darren Waller was a full practice today. He full for sure.
Full practice.
I saw he was
Return to
practice.
Yeah, you
Okay.
That's what I saw. Return. To practice.
Okay. I may need a pay decrease. I read return to practice and I put full practice.
Dude. Somebody get this man
Either
off
way,
here.
it sounds like he's playing this week.
I hope.
I would agree.
Bench your Foster Moreau's. He was limited this week.
Limited. If he stays limited, I don't know, dude.
Let me fix that real quick. Limited.
I think you hold on.
Here's
to
the hard
Foster,
part,
right?
though. If he does play,
yeah.
even if you're worried about it, if he goes active, you have to start him. I mean, we've got multiple tight ends missing. It's been such a struggle position. Like, he's a start no matter what if he's active. And that's a little scary. With a hamstring, it's always scary. I mean, it's just such a high re-injury.
They have the Saints. They go against Saints. Mike Williams will miss at least a month. Brian, what are we doing here?
I know you're baiting for it. You're baiting. You want
Who are you
me
going to
to
start a
say-
receiver?
You want me to say
Who are you going to start a
Josh
receiver?
Palmer?
Are you out? Are you officially out?
No, I'd still start him if I need. Like, if I'm pretty desperate and I'm looking for like, I don't know, 8 to 12 points.
10 points. That's always your number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel fine with it as like a flex option, but like probably not any better than that. The Chargers have just been pretty rough this year, and in all honesty, and I think that's been. I don't want to say that's been hurting Palmer like more than it's hurting other guys because, I mean, Josh Palmer isn't doing himself any favors either. But Herbert's been hurt. Their line looks terrible. Keenan Allen's been out most of the year. The Chargers are just kind of a mess right now. Maybe this bye week will.
We've got some
change
time.
things up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to change anything for Mike Williams, but it probably does mean. I mean, Keenan Allen, I would envision is back after the bye. He played some last week. They pulled him, that kind of thing. But I think Keenan Allen's back, and that's going to be the answer.
I think he was back too, and I think that does help Herbert a ton.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry did not practice Wednesday. Your Olave plugs stay. I don't know if there's anything more that you guys want to add to that.
Just my weekly reminder that 2 years away from football does play a part. It has a toll.
Sure does.
Yeah, like so you guys saw that trade I made with Thomas. He was trying to give me Calvin Ridley.
I'm not touching it, man.
I asked for Davis Mills instead.
Yeah.
Davis Mills.
Yeah,
you'll be able to draft Davis Mills replacement next year, so that would be good.
Yeah, you'll handcuff that position.
I will.
Thomas tried to trade me Ridley too, and I know some people are still into Ridley. I get it. Like, he's 27, he'll be 28, I think, in December.
No, I think he's mistaken. I thought he was older than that.
Maybe he's 28, going to be 29. I
thought he was going to be 30 by the time he comes back.
He's 20. He'll be 28.
I think what it is that he will turn 30 in the season that he's back.
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, he's 27 now.
Yeah, so he'll turn 28.
He'll be 28.
He'll be turning 29. He'll be turning 20.
But still, the point stands. He'll be nearly 2 years out of football. Yeah. He obviously was having some struggles even before everything happened with the mental health plus the suspension. Like, I just don't want to play that game.
DK Metcalf. He was participating in a walkthrough.
Just walkthrough.
Okay.
Which is not that encouraging to me.
No. But he was carted off this week.
Yeah. It seemed pretty bad initially. Like, I have him in Dynasty, and I was worried.
Did they give any time frame updates or no?
No, I mean, they're acting like there's a chance he can play.
Really?
When they haven't actually said any kind of injury. So, I mean, I don't know if just a tweak is such a thing when it comes to a knee, but it's not like they've given him an MCL sprain or
they said he won't need knee surgery.
Yeah.
It is
as you will.
What's that mean? Does that mean I have a bruised knee? Is that what he got carted off for?
Right.
Maybe he had to take another poop.
Yeah.
If he sits as good, are you looking at Goodwin here with this apparently fantasy-friendly offense?
Yes.
I think maybe as a flex, but I think you got to be mildly desperate. Like, I don't know that I'm ranking him.
Okay, so if you have a choice between Goodwin, I know the Chargers are on bye.
I already know. I see neither.
Josh Palmer or Goodwin. I'm probably going.
I'm probably going Goodwin, dude.
I mean, he's probably a flex play, but I don't feel really good
over
about
Palmer.
I think it's a high risk play. I think
it is a high risk play.
He's 31.
Yeah, he's old.
Goodwin's 31.
He's still, he is. He used to be on San Francisco.
He was on the 49ers forever.
Yeah, he's had
Former
a couple teams since.
Almost Olympic qualifier, I'm pretty sure.
He was picked by the Bills as well.
Yep. Yeah. I think he was like one of the last cuts to actually go to the Olympics.
It's pretty
I could be mistaken, or maybe he was like a college. I'm going from deep memory.
No, he was a track star.
Yeah.
But your guess? Are you saying between Olympics or college?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting that we know this much about Goodwin with how, I don't mean to diss him, how little he's done in the NFL.
Yep.
He really hasn't done much.
Yep.
He's been like a career wide receiver 3.
For a team, not for fantasy.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And now he's a wide receiver 1 on the hottest team in the NFL right now. Debo said to be day-to-day with a hamstring issue.
Gives me the heebies.
The heebies are out, dude.
Yep. And I'm a Debo owner, and it gives me the heebies.
Goodwin was an Olympian, Cody.
Okay.
Wow.
Long jumper. And actually, his celebration after he caught the touchdown, I remember this now, was he just like long jumped. It was like a Super Mario long jump.
I wasn't going to go there, but he's the one a couple years ago. He had lost a child and played the next day and had like a big touchdown, I think. You guys remember that?
No. Did he go like this?
I don't remember.
I'm not even being that. So I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he did, but I think it was a thing where like everybody couldn't believe he played, and then he had like, it sounds bad, but a big touchdown is a career highlight for him. I mean, like you said, he just hasn't done a ton. I'm pretty sure.
You think that was him?
Sure.
I don't know. Let's talk about Debo though. Heebie-jeebies.
Heebie-jeebies.
Is that?
Can you put heebie-jeebies in the little scanner?
He's questionable with the heebie-jeebies.
So, I mean, the Aiyuk should be starting. Kittle should be starting. There's nothing else that you're doing if Debo was to miss this game. You're just being more excited about those guys starting. I think Aiyuk has earned his way into your flex territory.
Regardless.
Yeah.
I think let's do that. You know,
Aiyuk is currently like wide receiver 21, I think.
Roll into it, Brian. Just keep on.
This is the guy we're about to talk about. I mean, I think if you are an Aiyuk owner, as grim as it sounds, this Debo news is what you've been waiting for. I mean, you pretty much have been drafting Aiyuk the past 2 years because you've been expecting Debo to get hurt. And Aiyuk fills that role really well. Like they pretty much it's seamless from Debo to Aiyuk. They just give him a lot more touches. Now it's going to be different with CMC there. Don't really know what it looks like, but like I already said, I want to say Debo is like wide receiver 12 and Aiyuk is 21. So they weren't that far apart to begin with.
And Aiyuk's been hot as of late. He's got 11 targets each of the last 2 weeks.
I was going to say the last 2 weeks, he's really started coming around. Oh, crap. I accidentally clicked 2012.
And Brian, you and I texted about this a little bit. Like when the CMC trade happened, you know, you're like, hey, do you want to move Debo? And I said, you know what? I don't think I'm worried about the passing game. Like I think CMC, even though, you know, we talk about him maybe eating some touches, he's good for this offense, and things that are good for the offense end up being good for receivers.
Cody, I just used that to try and get Debo off you for cheaper.
Well, I know. I just mean we felt the same.
Well, I don't actually think CMC affects really anything on San Francisco. I think he's going to come in and just be like, you know how like Kevin Durant came to the Warriors, and it wasn't like Kevin Durant and the Warriors. It was still just the Warriors, and they still.
So you don't even think it necessarily helps. It's just a nothing.
I think their running game was already really strong as it was. I mean, how much
it changes what defense it changes what the defense does.
Yes, I could see that argument, but I don't think San Francisco is going to do anything crazy different.
I agree
too. I think the whole reason they did this is to kind of open up the field.
Yep.
You throw Christian in the slot, like you motion him to the slot, it throws the defenses all off. You're picking your poison at that point.
Well, and if you know you look at double teams on Kittle and Debo, they just have to go away. You can't do it anymore.
Can't.
Yep.
Now the biggest issue is obviously Jimmy G. I mean, you look at where he's throwing the ball. He doesn't really push the ball down the field. He's scared to throw out routes. So it's good that they got McCaffrey for that because, you know, he's going to do some more dump offs. They love the little wide receiver bubble screens. And then we're going to have Trey Lance back next year, probably, I guess. I don't really know much about that injury since it's happened.
Yeah, I don't think it's more than a year. I think he's back.
Yeah, I think CMC will definitely help in that regard, and especially just converting first downs, scoring points, all that. I think somebody in our group chat said they'll be a lot more efficient. And I think that's probably the best way to describe it. And I just noticed that Debo is still scrolling on the bottom of the – let me get rid of that.
Yeah, so and tying this back to Aiyuk, I mean, this I think opens it up a lot more for him even. Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, whatever Debo's status ends up being. The interesting part is when Aiyuk starts heating, he starts heating. We've seen this every year he's been in the league. The past 2, he starts coming alive towards the second half. Last year, weeks 9 through 18.
They just
wide receiver 15.
Field, but you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Wide receiver 15 in that time. So are we getting Christmas early with Aiyuk? Is it time? Is he into the mid wide receiver 2 role? Wide receiver 2 for fantasy?
I think so. And depending on like what Debo does, like he could possibly, I think he has the skill to be a wide receiver 1, But
if Debo's not out, I think he's still a wide receiver 3 flex for me at the moment. But he's been great. That's not to knock him. If Debo's in,
but how can you say that when he's been wide receiver 21? He's been a wide receiver 2.
Yeah, it helps when you have a 30-some point game.
I don't think he's had a 30-point game.
Well, he had a 2 touchdown, not last week, but the week before. Maybe it's not 30-something. It's darn near 30. So, I mean, like, in terms of if you look week to week, I would guess he only has 3 weeks maybe that are wide receiver 2 or better. You know what I'm saying?
Like maybe less, Cody. Might be less.
Yeah, it's been
6.5,
11, 13, 8, 9.
I haven't heard any yet.
28, 15.
So 2.
15 is probably
the 2. So he has 2 weeks. So to say, I mean, and they've been the last 2 weeks. So like, this isn't really to knock him. I'm just, it's hard to, I mean, he was a wide receiver 4 15 days ago. It's hard to make that leap.
Wide receiver 24 is 12.64. I think
so he's 2 or 3. Yeah.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do think though that again, like, Aiyuk gets streaky or this offense starts changing or
look at all these passes behind the line of scrimmage. There's 8 passes here.
It's the offense though. It's a West Coast offense. Everything is horizontal and
Jimmy
short.
doesn't want I told you he doesn't want to throw the outs. He doesn't want to
But neither does Shanahan.
I mean that could be true, but I just think I think Jimmy I feel like and this could be totally just me making this up, but I swear to God, I've heard like from stories and stuff that basically people just think Jimmy is soft. And like, so he's scared to make mistakes. He doesn't want to push the ball. He doesn't want to be a gunslinger. He doesn't want to do anything that's going to get himself like looking bad, I guess.
I mean, look at him.
I know. He is a beautiful man.
What could he really do that makes him look bad?
Did you guys see this question? This is a question for both of you guys. How do you guys work on your dad bods? Any pointers in terms of specific workout routines?
Wait, is that like to make it more into a dad bod or to get rid of a dad bod?
To make it more into is what we'd like to talk about. Yes.
Yep.
Brian's
I like to do about 3 crunches a day, and they're all when getting off the couch. That's about it.
So I actually have sort of thoughts about turning my camera around, but it's just going to be a nightmare for everybody if I do it. But I have a real answer here.
Then you should show it.
Oh, but it's really difficult.
Okay.
Like, I shouldn't say difficult, but it's just going to be like everywhere and then getting it back up. I have just a straight bar with a little bit of weight on it, not much. And my workout is literally 3 sets of this. I pick it up and I do 10 curls, 10 skull, shoulder press, squats, some like I'll bend over and do some rows, and then I'll do just a little bit of deadlifts. But it's not an amount of weight. Like, I'm saying I do this all like boom, 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 boom. So I do 70 reps in a minute, literally. And then I'll do that 3 times, and that's it. I work out in 4 minutes. I'm not joking.
I don't do the Cody 4-minute workout. Instead, I eat Reese eggs and Halloween Reese's.
Well, yeah. Right, I've had 2 cans of pop and 2 donuts today. So like, I'm with you. Sugar is important. I just meant how you turn the sugar into
2 donuts today.
And big ones too. Marybrook donuts. If anybody's near Worcester,
so funny?
Ohio,
like, if there are donuts presented to me, like, there's no way. If you tell me just
we
go
work
at
from
them,
home.
They're big.
I don't work from home.
Were you home today, Cody?
I went to get them.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, eating donuts while working from home is completely different if you go into a place where you work and there's donuts there. Then eating too is fine.
Yeah, and it was a food truck set up at Lowe's. So I literally drove to Lowe's for these donuts. And then I drank a Pepsi and a orange Fanta while I ate them.
Pepsi and an orange Fanta.
Gross.
Oh, I took in 200 grams of sugar in like 40 minutes.
Cody's like that little girl who's eating cotton candy gif where she's like,
then you hit your 4-minute workout. So then, here's the key. Like, I think we need to clarify here, like, what we're going for in a dad bod. You got to have a gut, but you're a little chiseled.
So you get
this
your
is
muscles
the key.
right.
It's this easy.
The only chisel I have is right here. But Cody, I want to go back to this because you said it was a Shanahan thing. But look at where Trey Lance is throwing the ball. He's throwing those outs. He's not throwing behind the line of scrimmage.
I guess
It's not the same. Like here, I think I can scroll back and forth between these. Like Jimmy only throws within 10 yards, middle of the field, or behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's and obviously there's a thing there that shows, Trey Lance's throws, but a West Coast offense works out of constant slot work or slant work. It's horizontal slant routes. That's the entire West Coast offense. And so Jimmy G's
Trey Lance. No,
Jimmy G's throws, that throw chart 100% looks like Kyle Shanahan's offense. Trey Lance's doesn't. And maybe Jimmy shouldn't too, but I just don't think that's Jimmy. It's 100% a West Coast offense to run all the
Or it could be Shanahan just tweaking his system to whatever his quarterback strengths are. So maybe he knows that Jimmy can only throw in the middle of the field, and so he runs plays where Jimmy can get the ball where he wants to get it.
He said so he knows that Jimmy can only throw it.
I'm saying, dude, I'm telling you, like, they think he's soft.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, obviously they wanted to move on from him, so I don't disagree with that.
I think there were like anonymous teammate reports last year about how he could have been able to come back from an injury or whatever, and he chose to like sit out another like 4 weeks, and his teammates were really upset about that because, and I'm not blaming Jimmy, but he's like he'd want to look out for his own health over helping the team win kind of thing. Whereas like Andrew Luck retired to save his body, which more power to him. I don't blame these guys.
I think that's different.
Kind of.
Right? I think you retiring.
Jimmy's got a better face. He's got to be careful.
You retiring versus like you not doing your job is two separate things to me. Like if I want to retire, I should be able to retire in the offseason, not just mid. If you retire mid-season, that's
okay. I guess I see what you're saying. Yes. It's kind of like similar to how at least like Michael Thomas like delayed that foot surgery so that it would then happen.
Yeah, that was messy.
Yeah, that was real messy. And now he's still not right, but he's still getting paid a ton.
So final thoughts.
I like Aiyuk.
I start him either way.
The upside is to a high wide receiver 2. Do we think the floor is closer to a low end wide receiver 2 or closer to wide receiver 30? So
that's probably where Brian and I differ. That floor is definitely flex territory for me.
No, the floor probably is. I mean,
you as well.
I won't deny it.
Yeah. But
right. If Debo's out, then I think the floor is wide receiver 2.
Agreed.
And I think it is going to be interesting to see if CMC does kind of open up this offense like we're all kind of talking about. So that's something to monitor going forward. Mm-hmm. Maybe even try and get some Aiyuk trade offers go. It's probably too late after the past 2 weeks. Gus Edwards. Gus Bus.
Do you remember where Gus Bus came from?
Like the saying, or like
maybe not college? Came from, but it was my team name for I think more than a year. I had so much Gus Edwards love like 3-4 years ago.
I do remember you having a ton of Gus love.
Obsessed.
Brian, so now that you have him in Dynasty, Cody has some first round picks.
I do not have him in Dynasty.
Oh, that's right. You traded him.
I did.
Excuse me. So, Gus, what is that? Oh, buckle up, baby. All right, let's get the obvious question here is J.K. Dobbins is set to come back after 4 to 6 weeks. I've had the conversation with Rob and Norton. We're all kind of like, I don't know if it happens this year. Do you guys agree, or you think it's more than likely he's coming back?
Is it bad that I shouldn't say bad. I've changed my mind in the last 2 days.
Okay.
And it's actually based on Harbaugh, and maybe I shouldn't believe it. Maybe I just shouldn't buy into it. But when I heard knee tightness, I was overwhelmingly concerned, and I'm like, okay, it's over for this year.
Didn't he get an arthroscopic procedure?
They cut out scar tissue that was limiting his range of motion.
Yeah, but that's also like taking tread off his tires.
It would almost be more like taking brakes off. Like the scar tissue is catching from him having his full range of motion.
Yeah, but also it's going to cause his bones to rub against each other if they remove all that.
Well, but the scar tissue was from surgery, so it's not his natural scar. It's not like it's a natural, like, physical piece that they're taking away. You're acting like they took away something that had protected him his whole life. It's been there.
No. I'm saying they're scraping away part of it.
Part of the scar tissue from the surgery. Yeah. I'm confused.
Where's your wife?
We'll get back into this later. Let's continue.
That was encouraging to me. And if somebody can educate me that scar tissue is going to create something to rub, then I'm open to it. But to me, that was to hear that, hey, they needed to clean up scar tissue that came from the surgery because it was limiting his mobility is much more encouraging than, hey, this knee that was blown up is tight. That's much more encouraging to me.
I don't think it's good that he's getting surgery on his same knee and he's going to be out more time. I'm very concerned.
But not because of a knee ailment. That's what I'm getting at. Like, not because of like a structural issue. That's what I'm meaning.
I mean, I disagree. Like, I think it's concerning either way. I feel like you're trying to like pull a silver lining out of this, and either way, it's a poop sandwich.
I don't think I own J.K. Dobbins anywhere, so I mean, I don't really have much J.K. Dobbins.
I don't think he'll be back this year unless Gus Edwards goes down and they're in playoff contention.
Interesting.
I think I actually have a bad feeling about him coming back as well, but if they are in playoff contention and he pushes it like he was pushing before season, I think it's very possible that he says, hey, we need to get rolling. Whether Gus is in and dominating or not, I think JK is going to try to get on this field. Now, is there a situation where they just say, we're good, Gus is rolling fine, we'll wait till playoffs to get you in? I think there's that situation as well.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
I think that's the best case scenario.
I mean, it's already week 8 and he's on IR. So, I mean, you're getting close enough to where I think that's in play, you know?
Yeah, and like I think the question too is like they're saying 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is what, week 14?
Right.
So like if it is past week 14, that's past that 6-week mark that they said to us, then something isn't right.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, then it's like, ooh. So Gus, like he played 36% of the snaps or something. So
but just
low.
got ungodly touches.
And got 16 touches.
Yep.
And 2 tutties. So
Yep.
like think about 36% of the snaps. That's got to be, I'll look it up, but like, do we expect the touches to stay the same or to pop up, or what are we expecting there?
I think the touches are right. I think he's going to be on the field more.
Kind of where
I also
where
think
I'm
he's going to be on the field more.
Do you think the touches go up?
Are the touches going to be up? No,
I don't think so.
I think
I don't think
he'll get like more than 20 in a game. I think
he had 18 this week. I think that's probably about the number.
Yeah, I think that's about the number as well.
64% or 64 snaps they ran. And
so he got
Gus, are you really trying to like do the quick math?
He was out there for 36%. What did you say? 22? So
22. Is that right? But I'm doing that in my head.
Okay, hold on. 23.
23.
He touched the ball 16 out of 23.
No, 18. He had 2 catches too.
Oh my god.
18.
Wait, he had 2 catches?
No, he has 1 catch.
I don't see any catches. He had 1 target.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
Looking at studies. So 17 of those plays were to him.
17 of 23.
That's insane.
If I'm another team, and I mean, I think like we said, we're going to see him a higher snap percentage, but maybe not the actual touches explode. But if I'm another team, the first play that I see Gus Edwards on the field, you best believe I'm putting a spy on him.
It's like Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Speaking of, he got blown up this past week.
I think we're kind of overlooking some actual conversation here. Like Gus Edwards, you got him, you picked him up off of waivers,
or you held him for 8 weeks.
We're talking redraft here. What are you doing with him? Are you shopping him? Are you plugging him in? Like, what would it take for somebody to get you to sell him, or what are you trying to buy him? Yeah, or what are you trying to buy him for? Either way you want to talk about this.
I think there's a good case for him being a solid RB2 the rest of the way. So I think that's the price for somebody to get you off of him.
Okay,
could be more.
I don't think somebody's giving more than that, so you got to
No, they definitely are not. Gus Edwards is not a sexy name.
Is that
Excuse
a what?
Me. Not a sexy name. Like,
and it's somebody people worry about with injuries. Like,
yeah,
I think if you want off of him, you should probably be happy to get an RB2 price tag. Would be my take.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to start asking you.
But
guys.
I don't think you should sell him for an RB2 price tag because I think he can return you more.
Well, let's go with wide receiver first. Now that we're here, would you take Gabe Davis for Gus Edwards?
Nope,
probably not.
Amon-Ra St. Brown for Gus Edwards?
Yes.
DK Metcalf?
No.
Lazard?
No.
Devonta Smith?
No.
T-Mac?
No.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Cortland Sutton?
No.
T. Higgins?
Yes.
You better say yeah, dude. I was about to. Curtis Samuel?
No.
Aiyuk?
No. I like Gus Edwards even more than I thought.
Yeah, Juju, because this is wide receiver 20 right here. Juju Smith-Schuster.
No.
And this isn't how they're ranked. This is just where they're currently at. Olave?
Yes.
I think you're gonna say yes from here on out. AJ Brown,
Yep.
Michael Pittman,
Yep.
Mike.
So
Evans.
basically 18-ish
for wide receiver, yeah. So like if it's a RB, if you're in the and I won't go as many here. RB is a little bit of a different situation because it's kind of just crazy on some of these guys. Like the RB 23 right now is Alvin Kamara. You're taking Alvin Kamara easily.
I agree.
Najee Harris. Would you rather have Najee?
Gus.
I think it's Gus.
Oof.
I think it's an easy Gus.
The workload is just so consistent, and it looks like Gus's workload is going to be consistent, but I mean it's 1 week. We got to be mildly careful in that way.
Even some of those wide receivers, I think you had to be a little bit careful.
Guys, Najee hasn't scored over 13 points this year.
But game. Gus has only done it once.
So what? That's
I'm just because it's only one
Come
game.
on, man.
Is James Conner or Michael Carter even in consideration for Gus?
Michael Carter is.
Michael Carter, possibly.
Yeah.
I
actually think that's a really interesting trade if I'm a Gus.
Michael Carter is probably a guy we should have talked about today, just because that is a very interesting.
We could save. We could save him for next week, and maybe it'll give more of an out because we might want to be talking about selling him high.
Yeah, but does anybody really want to talk about Michael Carter next week after they find out what's going on?
Then again, next week, anything.
I was going to say you might not even know because maybe James Robinson doesn't really play this.
He's got a hurt knee, remember?
I think he still will be a little bit limited.
Cody,
right?
you don't have to talk to me, but the internet is in love with James Robinson and refused to admit that this is another torn Achilles claim.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
There's one that made it back. I try to be careful because I think I was one of the original ones that hated on the Achilles with Mario. And so, but I got to give credit when there's an exception. Deonta Foreman.
He's a couple years back. And also, it's
4 or 5,
one game he's had.
It's hard to say that he's made it back, Cody, when it is what just Brian said, one game. And like he hasn't had over a wide receiver or running back 35 finish ever.
Mostly agree in terms of fantasy, but the fact that he's managed to stay on NFL rosters the last several years tells me that he's looked explosive.
Well, Marlon Mack is still on an offensive roster. James Robinson is. Cam Akers is. These guys stay on the rosters for a little bit, especially because the names that we just named off all were pretty high prospects.
Oh yeah.
Deonta Foreman was a pretty big prospect. Cam Akers was,
and maybe not James Robinson, but coming off of the rookie season he was,
to earn a fifth round. We were talking about it, 6th conditional 5th.
Yep.
As undrafted, that's pretty big.
Yep.
That's when you came up. Like I should have gone undrafted.
Yeah, I doubt he feels that way.
Yeah, right. I would have chip all over my shoulder. Rhamondre Stevenson is the last one we want to talk about today. Maybe we'll get to the Thursday night football preview tomorrow. Rhamondre, this is an interesting one. So I'm touting that Damian Harris should be traded by the trade deadline. There hasn't been much smoke in that category. I haven't seen it much. Well,
Hasn't
when
been
there's
much
smoke,
fire to
there's
the
fire.
smoke. Oh, so you're just saying you haven't seen rumors about it?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Which
Gotcha.
I feel more comfortable if there was a bunch of rumors. I've seen one article about somebody saying why they should trade Damian Harris and why they think it will. And I'm like, yeah, me too. But it's been pretty quiet, and I don't know if that's how the Patriots roll. So what are we doing with Rhamondre? Do we expect Damian, if he's there, to take back some of the snap percentage, or is this Rhamondre's backfield?
I personally think he takes back more than we saw last week, but Rhamondre's the RB1 there now. He's played too well for him not to be. So when I say I expect more Damian Harris than, 3 carries, I see him at 8 to 10.
I think there's no way that you get a fair value for Rhamondre, so I think your only option is to hold or buy.
Interesting.
But like,
So
I don't think you're going to be
the
able to
price
buy.
to sell Rhamondre isn't good right now, you're saying? Or
Yeah,
buy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
People are going to be like, "Oh, Damian Harris is coming back."
You know what the tough part about that is, Brian, is like it's two situations. Either somebody who's way invested into fantasy football, right? They know what Rhamondre is, or they've seen the hype, they're bought in, or it's the other person, the casual, and they look and they see he's RB8 on the year, and then they charge you more. So like,
you look what he's done recently.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a buy low option here, buy lower, buy discount, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it exists.
So why would there be a buy low? What's
the price you would pay then?
I think if you tried to buy low on him, the owner's just gonna laugh at you no matter what. But like, you also don't really want to pay because you're like, is this a flash in the pan? Is Damian Harris coming back? We never know what to expect with New England running backs. So like, I mean, I'm not really trying to buy. Like the guy in our league, I don't know if he was joking still or not. He wanted 2 firsts for him in a dynasty league, which is insane to me because you can't trust Patriots running backs.
Here's what I'll say. That's become less crazy to me. That was like probably 2 weeks ago. It was right when Damian Harris, I think, got hurt that he said 2 first. And at that moment, I'm like, for the backup who's starting because the guy has a pulled hammy, like, no way. Now, I'll say this. I don't know that I'm ready to maybe pull that price tag, but he is worth a heck of a lot more now than he was 3 weeks ago.
So let's say Harris trade or whatever. Okay, now I'm looking at.
Is he cutting out, or is it me?
I mean,
he's cutting out.
Like numbers.
Hold on, Brian.
That's sad.
You should probably run an Ethernet cord through your entire house.
I think you're going to have to get an Ethernet cord plugged in ASAP, but you did just disconnect on everything you were saying. So
just 300 feet, though. Nothing crazy.
All right, I'm going to go get my Ethernet cord. I'll be right back.
So, is he actually?
Wait, did he leave?
I thought he was joking.
He's probably just going too far with a joke here, I would think.
Watch. I just got rid of him. Make it better.
I wanted to do something, so
he brought himself back.
Let's.
No, he was actually getting his cord.
Let's look at the past 3 months, shall we?
Oh, of what?
Of Rhamondre season.
Oh, I'm just talking on mute this whole time. It's Rhamondre Stevenson season.
So he's currently on Keep Trade Cut worth a RB14 in Dynasty. Obviously, this is Dynasty. But to see where his value has shot up over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
October 8th, 9th, 10th, RB25.
That's about the injury.
And then September 26th, RB32. So, like,
it's funny. This is exactly what I expected because there's always Rhamondre preseason hype, and you see it right there. And then in season, they're like, "Oh wow, Damian Harris is still the starter." And then you see the tank,
the dip,
and then Damian Harris gets hurt, and then here we go.
This is probably close to. Yeah, I was about to say this has got to be close to his all-time high. I mean, he's kind of been a steady climb here. He was drafted, I think, 4th round. So, nobody really kind of had this projection for him.
What do you think RB14 in Dynasty? I actually don't think that's wrong, but it's going to be high to you guys, I think.
I don't either, but I think running backs just change so much.
Look at this
so
Cody.
Often.
That's going to be a meteoric climb.
It
Yeah,
is.
It's probably
literally at the beginning of October was RB28. He is now RB11. I showed this on last night's episode of Josh Jacobs.
And actually, I'm surprised he's not higher than 11. I mean, like, the hype's real.
I feel like
give it one more week. I think
I've always liked Josh Jacobs, but like they're just using him differently this year. They're using him so much more.
It's a different coach.
No. Here's what I think it is. And I actually said this when
because it's his last contract.
Yeah, they're using him up. I said this. That's why I drafted him. Nobody wanted him, and I didn't think this. This isn't me claiming like, but this is why like you didn't pick up his 5th year. You're clearly moving on. Use him up.
Yeah, it seems that different teams have different ideas on that too. Like, I think they were like, okay, let's use him, and then he started producing, and then now it's like a steamroll. Like, we're playing. I think they've won in the 3 games that he has played this well. They've won 2 of them.
Yeah, they look better. Yeah,
they look better. That's double the wins that they had before he started going off.
Yep.
So,
and he's been great. I'm not trying to take anything like. He's been phenomenal. None of that is a takeaway from Jacob.
He has been a stud, but it's like, why haven't you guys been using him like this
for the last 4 years?
Yes. Like, why wait until 1 year?
In Dynasty, here's the other part that we're going to have to balance at some point with Jacobs. And this is down the line, but I'm just bringing it up. He's one of those guys who's had really heavy usage for his age. So he's only 24 years old. Now, I know he's getting more touches this year, but he's been a 300 touch guy in the past between receiving and rushing. Like, they've used him. And he was so young coming into the league, you know.
He's 24.
Yeah, I mean I would guess after the season he's going to be over 1,000 touches as a 24-year-old. So he's going to be a guy that we see hit those touch numbers at a younger age, kind of like a Zeke did, for example.
I feel like he's going to be a guy that goes to a team and is in a timeshare after.
I don't think he'll be in a timeshare because he's going to. If there's a team, yeah, exactly, they're going to pay.
He's going to get $10 million.
Have to get paid. Yep.
Yeah.
Unless Las Vegas pays him.
That's probably the most likely thing to happen. But didn't they spend like a third on Zamir White?
Yeah, and they cost themselves a lot of money by not picking up his option, as well as the
4th round on White.
I don't know if I see him coming back.
Cody, he's 970 right now.
Yeah, so he's going to be between 11 and 1,200 at the end of this year. Yeah, so he'll be between 11 and 1,200 at the end of this year as a 24-year-old. That's heavy numbers for a 24-year-old. Yeah, low college use though. So if we're looking at career touches, even out of the NFL, that helps.
Yeah. I just because we're getting ready to wrap up, so I kind of wanted to bounce right back to Rhamondre. Is there what would you in redraft? What are we thinking? Like we said, there's buy low potential.
Where would you just rank him rest of the season? Can we do that real quick?
I'm top 12. And I think Damian takes 35% of the snaps, and I'm top 12.
Okay.
Because I think this team is going to turn to the ground game. So either Damian's going to be traded or his team goes ground heavy and they become the next Falcons, how Carolina did. A couple other teams have done this. I think he's top 12 for me.
I think if you made me bet, I think 12 is about right. But I think if you made me place a wager on moving forward, not with pass, but moving forward, like 11 or 13, I think I'd pick 13. Like, I think I'd lean slightly.
Yeah, I'm going side. Like 16. They play the Jets twice still. They play Buffalo twice. They've got Miami.
It's so funny we're scared of the Jets.
The Jets have a pretty good team this year.
It's so
at least their run defenses. Buffalo's run defense is stifling. I'll say running back 16. No, they already played the Browns.
I know. I'm just saying the Browns are just.
That's where all the hype's coming from.
Yep.
The Jets have that good of a rush defense?
I actually don't know on the Jets.
Yeah, they have. What's his name? Quinnen Williams.
He's been massive. So they're on average giving up about 87 yards, 0.71 touchdowns.
Oh, they keep him out of the end zone. Wow.
0.71, yeah.
Yeah.
They give up 6.86 targets, 4.5 receptions, about 27 yards passing work. So you're right. This is pretty those are average numbers. They've seen the Dolphins, Packers, Broncos, Bengals, Browns. Browns destroyed them though. So Browns
What'd they
kind
do
of
against the
invested.
Packers?
Packers was 19 for 60, 7 for 36.
Yeah, not much. Okay.
The Browns and Dolphins were the ones that ran on them.
Ate them up.
141 and 3 tutties for the Browns, 123 and 1 tutty for the Dolphins.
Mario, I kind of cut you off there and what you were wanting to hit on Rhamondre next. Where were you going to go? I kind of
I think this is good. I wanted to get your guys' take on where he falls at the end of the season. It's hard to buy him though, right? Like Brian said, like I don't think there's many owners that are going to give him up for cheap. Like I have him as my RB4 in a league, and I don't want to give him up for cheap.
Yeah.
And I need a wide receiver, I think. Like,
yeah, you just struggle to part ways with it. Yeah. The upside's been so huge. That's what's hard. It's not like he's a consistent 15 or 16. It's like week changing games.
They've been massive. And like he catches a ton of he had 8 receptions. Mm-hmm. And that's the part that keeps the floor high, which is why I'm saying top 12 is like if he's catching 4 to 5 a game, which I don't know if that's going to keep pace, that keeps that floor nice and high for you.
Yep. Agree.
Brian, chicken fingers, hit that outro.
You sure you don't want to talk Thursday? We good.
We're good. We'll get Thursday. Me and Rob will cover Thursday tomorrow. We'll get ready for Thursday night football.
Did you guys see that there's rumors that the Packers are going to trade for Mike Gesicki to solve their wide receiver problems?
There's a ton of rumors.
I don't understand what the Packers are doing. Like, just cough up a third round pick.
Cody, they're self-tanking. They're tanking against the Rodgers' will.
We're getting comments, but you guys both cut out. So I
was reading the comments like, okay, the outro's
I said the Packers are tanking, man, against Aaron Rodgers' will.
Big brain move by the Packers, Felix said. What happened to Tunyon?
He's gonna be all right.
He's gonna be all right. I don't think they'll take Gesicki, but I do see him getting a wide receiver. Cody, as an owner of the Packers, you should be telling them.
I should.
Let's wrap it up.
Owners meetings were in the summer. I actually missed this year. So
the what?
The owners meetings were over the summer, and I missed this year.
Well, that was your chance. All right. If you're not already following us on Twitter at DadBodFS, DadBod Fantasy Squad on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, we'll put our videos up there. We'll post the recording of tonight's episode on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all the major streaming platforms.
We lost.
We see the outro.
Too long. For Mudcat, Cody, for Brian, and myself, peace.
Bye.
Outro starting again.